and the second one called Goodbye. It's been a year and more, and now my feelings pour outward from my soul because this is all I know. I was always devoid of emotion, but I guess I was mistaken. This is not how it's supposed to be. This sadness is not meant for me. But I'm strong and I know this time I must let go. I've had enough of the drama of going away and then coming together. Months of fighting and days of making up. Pretending not to care, but not knowing how to stop. Showing appreciation and interest in many ways, and then acting the fool and letting it all get away. The meaning of this recurring decimal, I do not know. It makes me angry and torn, yet I go with the flow. But enough is enough. The writing is on the wall. It has been for a while, yet I stumble and I fall. Because I was deluded to think that there was a meaning. Behind all the charades and games, I was caught in a tailspin. But it's time to say goodbye to this meantime nothingness of fights and constant invitations that lead to disaster. I was even foolish to think possibly there could be a happily ever after. But it's time to pick up the pieces once and for all and move on. The ship has sailed, another chapter ended, my story must go on. But not with you, this is my friend, it's goodbye. Hopefully this time you will let me go and find some semblance of normalcy where adults act like adults and are honest enough to embrace what cowards cannot. Thank you.
I would have never done this ordinarily, so this is what passion does. I'm not sure if you could relate to those poems, but that was my third book that I published last year. It's an ebook on Amazon, and it's just $2.99 US. So that's my little plug. So what I'm going to share with you, I am far from a guru on love. I'm going to share with you my experiences and my lessons. I used to think that love was not for me and that soulmate did not exist. For years and years, I, I looked at my school friends again on Facebook, and they were posting pictures of their kids and just having babies upon babies upon babies. I know some of you are single and could probably relate to this in some way. But I asked myself, Carolyn, is that what you want? And it so happened that I meet this girl that I haven't seen in like 20. She looked to ask me, is any husband and any kids? And I started to ramble on about, how that I was going to say that in the book talk happening tomorrow. And I told her that, I don't really want kids. That's bad. My hairdresser, when I was in my 20s, she told me I should never say that. But now I'm not in my 20s, and it really doesn't matter anymore. So I said to her that these books and all these things are my babies. And although I know there's another aspect of life, I enjoy every day as it comes, and I stay open to the possibilities. And yes, in my 20s again, my friends used to tell me, Carolyn, you're such a nice person. I want you to have some babies and meet a nice man, not in that order. And I just used to look at them, but my dad, rest his soul, understood best that why I didn't want children. I'm not going to get into the details now, but he told me a few years before he passed that, that my books are my legacy that I'm going to leave to the world. So this point is learn to wait, love yourself more, and wait for what you deserve. And I'm just winging this, so bear with me. So I remember years ago, one of my friends, she said to me, Carolyn, marry somebody who loves you more than you love them. And I thought that was the most selfish thing somebody could say. And then I finally realized what she was saying. She was saying this to mean, you can love yourself, but you have to love yourself more than the next person. Because sometimes we get fooled into believing in this fantasy that only exists in our head. And you ever notice, like when you move on to another relationship or whatever, that this is better than the last one. And sometimes, like I'm not saying to like go from relationship to relationship waiting for the next best thing, but when you wait for what, sometimes we get fooled into this fantasy and we accept substandard treatment. And that was one of the posts on Facebook. We accept substandard treatment because we think we can do better, we think this is the best we ever had, or something of the sort. How many of you could relate to this? Yeah, and we just keep taking abuse in different forms, emotional, maybe physical, maybe psychological, whatever it is, because we think that this is what we deserve. But I'm here to tell you that it may take years and years. People find love in their 60s, and your soulmate is out there somewhere, and you don't have to settle for substandard treatment. It may be great, and this person makes you feel great 80% of the time, or maybe 50% of the time. But there's always better. And that is that is my little share on love. I also wanted to say something. If you can't be yourself, totally yourself around somebody, if you can't just let it all hang out, and I want to say something really inappropriate, but like, if you can't feel like you could pass gas or, burp or say what's really on your mind, and you feel you have to walk around eggshells because you'll offend this person, maybe that is not really love. Maybe if you can't stand up for your rights and, defend yourself, maybe this is not the right person for you. So that is just my little share on love or something like it, and how to remain open to the endless possibilities and wait for what you deserve. And I see Kathleen still here, and I'm so excited, and Chelsie, and you all said you had to leave early. So this is basically the end of the book talk, and those are the 4 tips